started. My name is Dave Hunsinger, and we are going to be talking about Keystroke Express POS, give you a little tour of the software and features. I am going to mute everybody here at the beginning, so if you have questions, I'll try to keep an eye on the chat, sometimes hard while I'm talking, but I'll open it up and we can ask at the end. I also, as I'm talking, you guys can be thinking, I'd like to hear your feedback, suggestions, what you thought of Keystroke Express POS as you've looked at it. So I am, hopefully, looks like everybody but me is muted now. So it's Thursday, December 19th. Remember, we have Keystroke Live every Thursday except the 26th of December and the 2nd of January. We are taking a break for the holidays there. So Keystroke Express POS is the latest offering in the Keystroke family of products. It's designed to be an affordable Keystroke product that's easy to install, set up, upgrade. It's there if you're comfortable selling Keystroke Advanced POS or Keystroke POS. It's great to still sell that. Every dealer is going to have to figure out how this fits into their offerings. It's designed to attract new dealers that are looking for something easy to install. Existing dealers, it may fit certain customers that had different needs or different financial constraints, and so they don't go away to some of those lower priced, lower cost downloadable internet cloud type solutions, so we can compete with those. Part of the Keystroke Express POS is the pricing is $495, dealer costs $250, so you make some money up front. There is a maintenance program, $295 a year. Dealer costs $200, and so you can make some money there. And then also there's payment processing. So we process with the end-to-end encrypted devices so that it's simple, secure, and again, a way for you to make money from a different angle as well. We do have dealer deliverable enhancements that I will talk about. There's kind of the standard feature set of Keystroke Express POS, and then as a dealer, you'll be able to add some features here and there. An example of that might be that you could add, say, quotes or layaway transactions where they're turned off in the standard Express. An end user can't turn them on, but a dealer can go in and make those available to an end user. So there's quite a few things in there that you can use to add value to somebody using Express POS. And then I'm going to talk about some of the features, differences, things about Keystroke. So differences between Keystroke and Express POS. So without further ado, I will switch over to hopefully my I think I gotta get to my right keystroke. That one. Okay. So, like the other keystrokes, this is the screen you come into. Going to enter my clerk number. You know, one big difference about Express, it dumps you right into the sales manager. The idea is that it's simpler, it's easier to enter sales. You'll also see the main menu option up here between special and exits. It's gone. It's down here. So you can choose where you want to go, how you want to do things, but it's more designed for use on a touch screen or with a mouse. So if I go to configure settings, kind of try to do setting it up as 1, 2, 3. Most of the printers and all use the default Windows printers, so if somebody just installs it on a computer and they have a printer, it'll send reports, receipts, invoices all to that default Windows printer. So basically first you set up plug in your company name, second plug in your tax rate, and third set up your inventory, and you're ready to go. So again, we're trying to keep it real simple. We do have hardware options, pin pad, cash drawer, customer display. There are things like you don't see the security feed on here. That is something that is one of those dealer deliverable enhancements that you could add. Pin pad signature capture setting, you can change the appearance. We've got a variety of different look and feels for things here. And then, basically you go into tables, tax. You see there's no commission tables. There's no price tables set up here. Again, there's a default pricing structure, but there's no price tables. As a dealer, you can set up price tables if you want to add them, but it being kind of an issue of support, and a lot of people call with questions, it's something, hey, this makes it a lot simpler to just come in here and plug in a tax rate of 8.25% and you're ready to go. So I'm going to go into the sales manager and just show you a few things moving around here. You see, I just have invoice and on-hold transactions. Now I can go ahead and enter an invoice. I'll pay with cash, print an invoice, and I've got it going to the screen. It can go to a printer as well. So it's very simple. Now if I have another keystroke set up here, and if I get it shared properly, that was my original one. Here's my other one with my mint green theme. You'll see here under transaction, edit, print, view, I've turned on the layaway and quote. So basically what I did is, just as a dealer with my Keystroke dealer license, I went into this data set and said, hey, I'm going to enable layaway and quote, and that turned it on, and I gave that configuration file, transaction type file, to my end user, and now they're able to use layaway and quotes along with the invoice and on hold. Now, we do draw the line in some places, like for orders. Again, because it's more of a support issue, we don't have orders available in the sales manager. So in here, and I am going to switch back to my original one here. There's a couple of little features we've added. One is and if I look for my Budweiser beer 6-pack, we do have the age verification just like in Keystroke. And you see it automatically put this redemption value on the invoice. And I'm just going to hit F3 to edit the line item detail, and F3 to edit the inventory screen. Now you'll see this is a much simplified inventory screen. There's just one of them. We basically have the pricing and cost simple in there, but you see for this deposit I have this redemption value. What that is it's a scripting tag-along item. So we've got we don't have all of scripting in there, but we do have the tag-along items. I'm using this for redemption value. You can hit insert in this field and basically say, hey, make this inventory item will always be added to the invoice after the item it was attached to. In this case, Budweiser beer was put on an invoice. It's automatically adding stock number 127 redemption value. We use an example of, like, you buy a book, you get a free bookmark. You buy a water bottle holder for a bicycle, you get a free water bottle. You can have those automatically tag along. Simple, easy to set up, doesn't add a lot of complexity, but it's a nice feature. We do have the parent-child relationship, and that looks like it should actually be 2 6-packs and 1 12-pack. So when I run out of 6-packs, it'll go break down the quantity of 12-packs. We also said there aren't price tables. I'm going to go ahead and save that. I'm going to hit F8 to pull up the Enter Customer screen, Insert to pull up my list of customers. But you still see I do have a price here. And what I'm able to do is I'm hitting Insert or F2. I can't edit anything, but I can say this customer will get items that are sale price, list price, price level 1, price level 2. So you can do special pricing for people and say, okay, this customer, they're going to get price level 1 or price level 2 that has a discount. No percentages, no groups. So there's all that complexity is removed, but there is a way of easily getting a reduced price for certain types of customers. So we're calling those price groups, whereas in Keystroke, there are price tables that are groups of customers and price codes that are groups of inventory items. Again, we're trying to shoot for simple, straightforward. This is designed for small stores, maybe 1 or 2 registers, lesser requirements, and easy to get up and get going with. And so when I can print this invoice, I'm just going to go ahead and complete this invoice. I can do a receipt, and I just have it printing to screen, pops up the receipt. Oh, and if I bring that up and do an invoice, you see it lists the redemption value. Oh, now I've got, we also have set it up so if you're doing that redemption value, and if I do my Bud Light, and they are overage, here when I do my invoice, now here I didn't set up the tag-along item that's the redemption value. I set it up via a tax table. So if you see down here, I have tax 73 cents, that's the 8.25% on the $8.90, and then a deposit of 30 cents, that's 5 cents a can for the 6-pack. So that's breaking it out via tax table. Different states have different requirements, California being you have to have the redemption value on the line after the item was sold. This, if you're buying a whole bunch of items, it'll just group the deposit down there at the bottom, so it makes the receipt a lot shorter and is sometimes easier to look at. So you can do it either way. We're trying to leave in features that will, this makes it very convenient for liquor stores, convenience stores, small groceries, that kind of thing. The label manager is in here and fully working. I can come in here and easily print, let's find a good item, child's fleece hat. I'll print 12 of those. And it's ready to go to a 30-up default printer. So we're trying to keep it simple. People can print those kind of labels right out of the box. The reports are very similar to Keystroke. We've kind of narrowed down some reports. Remember, if there is a report they want, you can create it in Keystroke Advanced POS and then copy it over into the reports for Express, and they would be able to use it. We've left queues in here just because we think that's a very effective way of printing things, and set up the reports you like, set up a queue, and they can run them as a group and don't have to worry about all the individual settings and all. We have left accounts receivable in, but it's a bit different. If you see, we don't calculate finance charges, we don't print statements. It's basically used if you're giving employees some in-house credit, or you've got some preferred customers that you do credit for. You're able to use it, but it's pretty much you put it on account, it comes in here, you can saying my connection is slow. Hopefully you're getting my picture okay. But you can put something on account, you can pay it off, but you can't calculate finance charges, you can't print statements. It's there to use, but greatly simplified. And the same goes with Purchase Manager. It's basically in here to receive inventory. So I can enter a vendor, I can put some line items on here. Let's do 2 of those, let's do 5 of those. And I can go ahead and receive my inventory. But we don't have purchase orders. This is basically just a purchase invoice. It's a record of goods received. So I can receive it. It updates my quantity on hand, just like purchasing does. We don't have that order invoice complexity. We removed that to make things a lot simpler. And I'm going to go ahead and save this. It'll update the quantity for my letter tray and parallel printer cables. But remember, I'm just going to click previous. I got to get used to clicking more. I'm so used to being a keyboard guy. But it does remember the vendor information, but just one vendor, not 4. So it does have that. It's got your last cost, average cost, last purchase date. All still there, all good information, just we've honed it down quite a bit. And if I go to Database Manager, if we look at the customer record, again, we've worked at honing down the information, making it simpler. You see there's no contacts on there. It's basically just the name and address, email, trying to keep it, again, simple so that we can address that. So no contact database. Also, you'll see there's a department database, no location or category. Again, we're trying to simplify things. Still do have variants in here because it's good to do that. Still have the closeout module to reconcile cash drawers. So tried to leave in a lot of features that we feel people are using every day to make it simple and usable. Yes, it doesn't have all of the features of Keystroke Advanced POS or Keystroke POS, and there'll be a lot of cases where people will need Keystroke Advanced POS because of their needs, but Keystroke Express POS is still a full-featured product. It's got a lot of flexibility, a lot of neat things you can do, and I think it'll hopefully be applicable to a lot of smaller businesses or customers we may be losing to other low-cost offerings out there. So that's a quick tour around Keystroke Express. Remember, if you've run the complete install since, I think, build 36, you will have a Keystroke Express sample data icon in your Keystroke POS program group as a dealer, so you can take a look at it and run it. If not, when you next time you update, just run the full install of Keystroke. We can email you a link. You can get it off the website, and you will get the Keystroke Express. You can run it. Hopefully you heard Mike Tabor last week. You can do an installation of just Express, but it's basically a subset of what gets installed when you do a full Keystroke installation. So if you're working on a computer that's got Keystroke on it, you just put the full Keystroke installation in there and you'll have Express. You can go to maybe a separate computer that doesn't have Keystroke on it and just do Express, and you get the look. That's what I've got going here, that this is just the Express, don't have access to custom modules, that kind of thing. Thank you for listening to me. I am going to, hopefully, if I can click the right buttons here. Uh-oh. I've got so many attendees that it's not letting me unmute everybody. Let me see how I can do this. I don't think I've run into this problem. I'm kind of unmuting folks from the top down. But, looks like I've got pretty much everybody unmuted. Does anybody have any questions or comments or their opinions, ideas about Keystroke Express and having looked at it? And
Dave, I have a question, if you can hear me.
Oh, yeah, I can hear you, Kennard. Thanks.
Okay. I'm just curious, what's your projection as to how many licenses of Keystroke Express you expect to sell next year?
You know, we'd like to say a couple of hundred, whether that's 200 or 400, I don't know. But, you know, 10 to 20 a month, I think, is a conservative approach. Again, we're trying to attract some new dealers and hopefully save some sales of existing dealers. A lot of it depends on
Dave,
guys
this is
like
Sid.
you.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Sid.
So I have a couple of questions as far as the interface. What is the, you and I talked about this before. What are you going to do about customers who have multi-store? Why would they buy an additional user, which is $695, as opposed to buying this when they have like an Expo or something else?
Yeah, there is no way to mix a Keystroke and a Keystroke Express license. They can have Keystroke at the main store, and let me see if I can get rid of that echo. They can have Keystroke at the main store, and they can have Express at store 1 and 2, and Keystroke Advanced POS at store 3. But at the main store, you can't have one register running Keystroke Advanced and 3 registers running Keystroke Express.
So will the extract and merge work in that case?
Could you repeat that?
Will the extract and merge work in that case?
Yes, it will.
What about the inventory update?
The inventory update will work as well. The file structures are basically the same.
So what, I mean, again, I just see here at this case is that a customer could say, well, I'll buy advanced point of sale, run it on my server, save myself a couple $100, and buy Express for my workstations, because a lot of people do run it independently at the workstation.
Yeah, but you can't run it on the same database at the same time.
No, they can run it, but again, if the inventory update is working and they can push the data files back and forth, I'm just saying there, you know, that's going to happen.
Yeah, you mean that, so they're running each register as kind of a separate store.
Right. There's a lot of dealers who set up a workstation as a standalone.
Yeah, but then Workstation 1 isn't seeing what Workstation 2 entered.
Doesn't matter. It all ends up at the same place at the end of the day.
Yeah, and if Workstation 2 sold inventory, Workstation 1 doesn't see it as sold.
You're assuming that everybody's tracking inventory. A lot of these low-end customers aren't.
Yeah. You know, and that's what the defense against that we put in there is that you can't, you know, just like if you're running 6 workstations on one transaction database, you can't mix and match. It's either 6 copies of Express or Keystroke Advanced with 5 workstations. Now, if they want to get tricky and try to do stuff like that, yeah, we don't necessarily, our defense against that is you, the dealer, saying, well, no, you know, this is one location, you need the workstations for it. Okay,
so for remote sales like a Expo, is this ideal for what this is going to be for?
This is ideal for what, you know, this is kind of our answer to those people that have said, oh, well, can I buy a workstation, put it on this laptop and take it to this Expo? Well, they can use Express for that now.
Okay.
Hey, Dave?
Yes.
It's Bob Tremblay. How are you?
All right. How are you, Bob?
Good, thanks. Hey, I'm sorry I cut in a few minutes late. Is it released now, or is it still waiting?
It is. We are done with our development. We're looking at putting a few pilots out there. So if anybody is interested in, we've got one going in next week, and we'd like to get a couple more in, and then it will be ready for release. So it is based on Keystroke, so numbers add up, file structure is fine. we find a couple little things here and there. Oh, we forgot to put this invoice form in or this report form in, but it's pretty ready to go.
Okay, great. Thank you.
And then I had a question from Rocco here about price tables and price codes, and if you can do mix and match 3 for, there is, and like I'm in the database manager here, I'm going to go to my inventory database. We do have X for pricing here, so this could be, 3 for $50. So we can do that in there. If you want to do more complex pricing via price tables, you can do that via dealer deliverable enhancements. In other words, you, the dealer, can set up the price table in Keystroke, copy those price tables into Express, and they will be available. Basically, it would make here in this price group, when I hit insert, you might see contractor pricing.
Okay, but is there no way to say, a lot of places have many different candies that might be 3 for 99 cents or whatever, but are different, different inventory items.
Right, and that X4 pricing here is by inventory item.
Right, that's per inventory.
So that might be 3 for 50. This one might be, 4 for 95.
I think Rock's talking about the mix and match and price tables.
Yeah, mix and match.
Right, and that way,
Most convenience stores and things like that have items like that.
Yeah,
have,
and
5 or 10 SKUs where you can get any 3 for 99 cents.
Exactly, and that you can do via you create the price table, copy it into your Express data, and it works just like it does in Keystroke.
But you have to have a customer assigned to that? There's nowhere to attach it to the inventory.
No, you can do it for the default for just that star price table, so it would apply to all customers.
Right.
It looks like Randy's asking you to talk about toolbars in Express a little bit and their limitations.
There's no toolbar editor, so you can edit buttons but not toolbars. You can create toolbars and copy them in just like you do with Keystroke. I think let's see.
I think your connection is a bit goofy there, Dave. Your picture is pausing and can't.
I'm going to stop sharing the webcam.
That might help.
Because that might help, I think, with so many people attached. It was slowing it down some. But yeah, that I can right-click and edit this toolbar button, but the toolbar editor is not part of Keystroke Express. If you want to completely edit the toolbars, you can do it in Keystroke, copy the toolbar file over. And you see when I do that up at the top here, it tells me I'm using this tbexpress.dat. You could just copy a different toolbar in there for that. Using any file to call out a different.
End user to retain a maintenance plan.
What's that?
Did you already mention that any of these dealer enhancements require the end user to retain a current maintenance plan?
That's correct. The dealer deliverable enhancements are active with current maintenance. So they need to retain a current maintenance plan to keep those dealer deliverable enhancements. All the regular features work no matter what, but if you're using these add-on features, you just have to have current software maintenance. And I will mention, we do have we call it a dealer cheat sheet that's got some pricing and information, and you can call in and get one, or I will pull down a list of everybody here and email it out to you today so that you can take a look at our selling and supporting dealer cheat sheet for Keystroke POS. Keith Adams asked here, are the default database screens still available? When you say default, yes, you can use the default ones from Keystroke, you could copy any database screen in there, but there's going to be a lot of fields that just don't work. Even if you put information in there, Express will not be updating those fields. One example would be, okay, you could show 4 vendors, but Express is only going to update the first vendor. Those other 3 would always just sit there the same. And let's see here. I'm just making sure I'm reading through all my questions there.
There's a support question there.
Yeah, the 295 support, it is limited. We're saying 12, 13 cases. I forget what we settled on there. So about 1 a month. You know, we'll be pretty flexible with that. The idea is hopefully we removed enough of the complicated features that the support will be pretty simple, or when they call, it's something they really need. And that support is also available monthly. And I don't see any more typed questions. Any more questions or comments?
Dave, why so many support cases for Express?
Well, it was, you know, and we can talk about it. We didn't want to say 3. We kind of wanted, you know, the idea is that we don't think there's going to be that many support questions because we've taken out a lot of the complexity. So that's kind of what we're shooting at, is that, okay, we say 12, but if somebody calls us 3 or 4 times, that'll be plenty.
And then Keith is asking if that 295 covers more than 1 register, if they have more than 1 license.
It is $295 and then $100 or $10 a month extra per additional register.
So what's the additional license fee?
It's $495 for each register.
Okay.
And Dave, as I understand it, that also includes back office machines, and no longer do we have free licensing on workstations that are not going to be opening the sales manager. Is that correct?
Right. The way I describe it is Keystroke Express is concurrent licensing. So when you buy Keystroke Express for $495, that's 1 person in Keystroke Express. Doesn't matter what module you're in. If you want 2 people in, you have to buy another workstation for $495. Whereas with Keystroke POS and Keystroke Advanced POS, it's people in the sales manager. Great. Any more questions or comments or thoughts on, if you've looked at it? We've got some new database screens in here and new toolbars. So we did release version 7.15 build 40 yesterday morning, I think. So you know, be sure to hit our website or use your update installer to download the full setup to get all the latest Express. Any more questions I could answer? All right. Well, if I go back to my PowerPoint, I will remind you again, we have no Keystroke Live next Thursday, the day after Christmas, or January 2nd, the day after New Year's. So keep tuned. We'll be sending some emails out about what's coming after that. And thank you, everyone, for attending today.